Hi, and welcome to part one of the strength and flexibility. Now, in this course, you're going to need an outside force to help to develop your strength. We can do pushing movements without an added outside force, but for the pulling movements, you need something to pull. That's just how it is. You can do it with the TRX, or you can do it with a resistance band or weights. So I'm going to show you examples of how to do that. So let's get started. We're going to start off by warming up. We're going to do some targeted warm-ups to help the body, and then we'll get into the exercises. So the first thing that we're going to do is arm circles. So from a tall kneeling position, take your arms out to the side and make internal circles. And then turn the palms so the palms face up and make external circles, circling back. Now start to make those circles bigger. Change the direction, big circles forward. And then rub your belly and pat your, no, just kidding. Okay, now take your band and we're gonna do up and overs with the band. And depending on your flexibility, you can hold it close or far away, whatever your shoulders will allow for. Remember, you're letting the scapula elevate as you go back and over and depress as you go back and behind you. This is really a boon for shoulder mobility, practicing this exercise. And then let's do some scap circles. Take your scapula forward, up, and back. Not just your arms moving, but really trying to move the shoulder blades on the back. And then change the direction, back, up, and forward. Come onto your hands and your knees, and let's get the spine, cat-cow. And let's get your hips warmed up. So just drawing circles with your knee. Now you don't have to be super rigid about it, but I want you to try to isolate the movement in the hip socket and not allow the pelvis and the spine to move around. Change direction. So you're really seeing how much your femur can move around as opposed to the body compensating. Change. And if you're wondering why the socks are on, it's freezing. And I don't want to wear sweats and a sweatshirt because then you won't be able to see what's happening as well. Change direction. And then lie down onto your back. Now we're going to lift up into a bridge position, which will be part of one of our exercises to strengthen the back and open up the front. So you can think of all of these positions that we're training as loading to open up the body. Similar to a yoga pose, but then we add movement. So from this position, we're just going to hold static. And as you press into the right heel bone without the pelvis moving, bring your left leg up and then change. So we're going side to side here and working hip flexion from this position of the bridge. Make sure when you lift one leg off that the opposite leg hamstrings and buttock fire. Now drop your hips down, and we're going to start by integrating the core before we get into our exercises. So bring your hands to your rib cage, find your neutral pelvis, long exhalation. Blow the air out through your mouth like you're inflating a balloon. All the air out. Now breathe into the whole rib cage, full 360. And blow it all out. Arms up, full 360 breath. So it's not just the front. And then bring your legs up. Now slowly lower your right knee as your left arm goes back. Full 360 breath. And then exhale to come up. Change. Full 360 breath. Exhale to come up. 2 more rounds. Really exaggerating through the mouth, that's okay. In through the nose, full 360, out through the mouth. Deflate ribs. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So as we get stronger in these exercises, not only will how advanced the exercises, or the difficulty will increase, the weight will increase, but also the loaded stretching at the end becomes more advanced and you get deeper and deeper into the loaded stretches as you become more strong and flexible. But first we just have to get the body to open up and to get the moves well. So these simple exercises are pushing and pulling with the upper body, and as well as doing banded pull-aparts to strengthen the muscles in the back to open up the front, because we all tend to be tight like this. Posture, we know, is a thing. But when you're doing this, don't compensate by kicking your body forward. I want you to integrate the rib connection that you had. If standing on your knees hurts your knees because you have knee issues, stand up on your feet, keeping your core engaged, or you can pad your knees. Open up your arms. Pull the band apart, thumbs point up. Feel the muscles in the back engaging. Feel the muscles in the front spreading. As you exhale, reconnect to your core. Slowly let the band come back. And as you exhale, pull apart. The exhalation to help the contraction. As you inhale, let the back expand. Exhale, feel the back contract. And we're doing 10 of these. But squeeze as you hold there for tension and release. Nice job. Now let's come into our first leg exercise, which is going to be a single leg lunge. You can do this without any weight. You can do it loading with the band if you need added weight for resistance, or you can do it holding weights, depending on how much resistance that you want. It should feel like when we get to 12 that you really couldn't do another one without good form, like you're so exhausted after doing the 12 on one leg. So let's get it. I'm going to show it without any I'm going to show it with the resistance band so you can see what that's like. You know what the other ones look like. Just apply enough resistance, and these come in different resistance. Slowly lower down, got to choke up on this, and then press to come up. That's 12 on that side. Let's change sides. Now, as you're doing this, Be mindful to track the knee over the second toe. Don't let it twist in or out. As you lower, load the heel, feel the big toe and little toe mound press. As you come up, press through the foot to feel the outer hip and buttock engage. In the down position, feel your core connection, your rib cage, aiming to the pelvis. Nice job. Okay, we're going to take a little breather and then get into our pushing exercise. So as these exercises become more advanced, the rest in between will need to increase so that you can have energy to come back to it. But in this initial one, we can take little shorter rests. Now we're going to do the push-up. Now the push-up is essentially seeing how much you can stretch the muscles in the front and then applying force to come up out of there. So they help to seal in all the flexibility, but you need to be able to open up and to go into the position without contracting from your back, without cheating from the back. So I want you to think of your pelvis staying fixed instead of drooping in your middle. And I recommend doing these in front of a mirror. Okay, so phase one is just with the knees down. If knees down is too difficult, you can do it against a wall, standing against a wall with the hands down in line with the bottom ribs, leaning into a wall, pressing forward and back. Because we want to be able to do 12 of these. So take the modification that works for you. If knees down is too easy, do it straight legs. But I really want to see that you don't droop in your middle. So keep the glutes engaged, the rib cage in like we practiced in the first exercise as you slowly lower to the flow. Drop it down like it's hot. And then when you come up, keep the glutes engaged, keep your belly in as you press up. Feel the muscles stretch in the front, in the chest, in the front of the shoulders. Pause in the stretch. And now we're contracting. Squeeze glutes, press through your chest, feel your core engage. Oh man, we got 10 more of these. Notice at the top, I reach through the shoulder blades into the hands, full protraction. And then I slowly control into the stretch, into the retraction of the shoulder blades. But the glutes stay engaged, the abs stay in. It's a whole body exercise. So push-ups are great for building core strength and they get the whole body to activate. Four more times. Maybe you can throw in one last one. And up. Nice job. Now we're going to go right into a back body exercise, which is our pulling exercise. So this can be done with resistance band. Now if you have trouble maintaining a flat back, you have back problems, you can do this from seated instead. Sit with the band across your feet. Otherwise, strengthening our flat back position, which will be really important for all of our yoga poses, and looking in a mirror to make sure that you truly have the flat back position. Let your shoulder blades go into a stretched position without hunching. So you let the shoulder blades hang, you're training better protraction. So it's a weighted stretch. And then you pull up and squeeze all those muscles in the back. Feel the contraction there and slowly control it down. Again, this can be done with the weights in the hands instead. Pull and squeeze. Feel the contraction in the back. Breathe in as you lower down. Breathe out as you pull up. Four. Feel the feet even on the floor. The bend in the knees helps you to lengthen here. And as you pull up, drive from the elbows up. Control it down slow. Remember, this is pulling you into the stretch position, so the scapula get to spread, the arms get to reach, and then you're contracting those muscles to pull all the way back. The health of a muscle is its ability to contract and release all the way. So we're building healthy muscles through these exercises as we're sealing in our flexibility gains. All right, then stand up tall. Feeling strong. Okay, cool. Now let's come onto the back and we're gonna do our bridge lifts. So these are great to strengthen your hamstrings, the back body, and by strengthening the back, we open up the front. If you think of these muscles, they're shortened in this position. When we go to lift up, they're elongated. Now there's a tendency to cheat just by hinging the lower back to lift. Then I don't really get the opening here. So when you go up, think of pulling the mat back towards you. So you already get the hamstrings to turn on, and then think of reaching the buttocks to the backs of the knees. I don't care if you go up high. I'm interested in this connection so that the front is opened. Can you feel a difference there? Really work the buttocks towards the backs of the knees. Level 1, you'll hold the isometric contraction. Level 2, you'll lower back into that position and then lift back up into the stretched front position, back engaged. So each one of these exercises, you lift and lower or hold isometrically, is a weighted stretch. We're weighting the body and we're moving into a stretched position for part of the body as the other part contracts. So you're training mobility through these exercises by moving towards your full range. This is where real athleticism comes from, training like this. Now, if you need more advanced, you can do it with one leg lifted, but you better make sure that you're feeling the connection in the back of that other leg and it's just the same quality of movement. You don't have to rush this one. You can do it with feet down for the first week. Now, if you are feeling like it's aggravating your lower back or something, that's just a sign that you're hinging. Don't lift as high and really focus on the contraction, or even just hold the isometric. Nice. Lower your hips down, and we're going to go right into our finisher, the dead bug exercise. So bring your legs up. This is a great core exercise. And this will start to train if you're having troubles with boat pose or the more advanced abdominal exercises. This is my favorite to train your abs. When I first started learning about the core connection, and we're just lowering and lifting like we did at the beginning, when I first started learning more about the core connection, I already been practicing yoga for a while, and I hadn't learned a lot about how important the ribcage pelvis connection was. And when I started to integrate this exercise, it was really challenging for me, actually. And I had to just focus on practicing this for months before I could really go into boat. And then it really informed all of my other core exercises. I could really feel, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Whereas before I was just like kind of faking it, just throwing my body into the shapes, and I didn't really have the awareness of where I should be feeling it. So this is one of the best, in my opinion, exercises to start to train the core. And it's used in PT and physical therapy. This is a standard in developing somebody's core strength. Now, if you want to advance this exercise, you can stretch the leg all the way out. But if you feel your lower back lifting, your core giving up, better just stick with the bent knee variation. Good, just 5 more minutes of doing this. Okay, hug your knees in, roll yourself up, and our big finisher now, plank on your forearms. Core, baby. Burn, baby, burn. Now drop the knees for a second. Deflate the rib cage. Take a full 360 breath. And then see if you can keep the buttocks reaching down towards your heels as you lift your knees back up. Does it feel different that way? I know. 30 seconds here. 30 seconds to finish. Let's finish strong. Set your knees down, stretch back into child's. All right, so the intention with this is that if you're really looking to develop your strength, you're going to practice this 3 times for the week. On the second time you practice it, go through the whole set of exercises a second time if you have the time. It's not a requirement. If you want extra time and extra challenge, you'll do that. It'll really help to seal in your strength and your mobility. On the third time you practice it, you can go through everything a third time. And I recommend taking rest days. In fact, it's required that you take rest days in between. Now, you can do the flexibility part, the advanced flexibility. You can integrate it right after you practice this video if you have the time, or you can practice it on those opposite days, the rest days. If you're like, Tim, I only got 30 minutes. Do it that way. All right, through this course, I recommend just focusing on this course. Give yourself a couple months just to focus on this course. You don't have to do the yoga practices. Of course, if you have the extra time, you can add in the yoga practices on your days off, but focusing on this course will dramatically improve your strength and flexibility. It's really gonna change your whole yoga practice. So I encourage you to stick with this. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the week 2 video. That's when you get your next exercise workout routine for the course. Have a great day.